Hi, this is Corella again. Let me read these for you just in case for whatever reason you're not able to see it clearly. Alright? So let me read these for you. The elephant in the room. To wait for the other shoe to fall. To be a law or to be a statement without any teeth. To be ahead of the game. To be the black sheep of the family or of the group. To be dying to be with someone. To say, he's a pig. Or, my God, what happened to you? You're as white as a sheet. To be blind as a bat. Now, these are all expressions that are very common, I would say mostly in American English, but probably in British English also. So why am I talking about them? Right? Many of you know these expressions. I'm speaking on these expressions because I want to talk about puns, P-U-N-S. I can remember in one of my classes, in one of my ESL classes, one of my students says, well, what is a pun? And the only ones I could think of were ones that you really can't use in the classroom because many puns, if not mostly all puns, are either extremely offensive when you're talking racially speaking, or offensive and vulgar if you're talking sexually speaking. They use them on television, but you have to be very careful. And in movies, you have to be extremely careful. Because you can offend someone, okay? Now, puns sort of offend you and not offend you, and you smile and you say, no pun intended. So I want to give you circumstances in which very innocent expressions can become puns. For example, and this is horrible to say, right? Because I'm not the smallest, the slimmest, the skinniest person in the world. But let's imagine we're talking about the governor of New Jersey. I just had a senior moment there. Of New Jersey, okay? And they're talking about the problem that he's having with Bridgegate and Sandygate or whatever, right? And then someone says, well, everything is still not known, right? And nobody's talking about what really needs to be talked about. And the person very innocently says, well, you know, the elephant in the room is, and then after about a second, you'll notice that people begin to smile and maybe one or two people begin to laugh. Why? Well, if they were talking about another governor who wasn't as large as Governor Christie, then it wouldn't be funny. It would be the elephant in the room, which means normally in English when you say the elephant in the room is that it's the very thing that's there, but no one's talking about it. A 500-pound gorilla in the room, right? It's there, but no one's talking about it. Everybody knows it's there, but nobody wants to acknowledge it. But because the person of whom they're speaking is also a very, let's say, large person, right? Large person, then people are connecting the pun, the elephant, with the person, right? And then people laugh and smile. Okay, another example would be to wait for the other shoe to fall. Well, that was okay, fine. That just means that you know everything that you need to know, and that's probably going to be bad news for someone, hasn't come out yet. So you know part of the story, but you don't know all of the story. So somebody would say, well, we're just waiting for the other shoe to fall. Unless you're talking about a person, let's say for whatever reason, only has one leg. Then you say that as innocently as possible. You didn't mean anything by it. You weren't trying to make a pun. Then you say it. Then it becomes funny because people are understanding more than what you're saying. They're understanding the cultural, the popular with the actual, the literal. Because if someone only has one leg, then only one shoe can fall. But it doesn't mean that because you're speaking metaphorically, but you're connecting the metaphorical with the literal, and then it's just, you can't help it but smile or laugh. And the best thing people say is, oh, no pun intended. But once you say that, I guess it even becomes worse. Let's say to be a law or a statement without any teeth. Now, metaphorically and figuratively speaking, to be without teeth, a law or a statement or whatever, to be without teeth means it has no force behind it. It has nothing that will make the person do what you want them to do. So it doesn't have any teeth. And it's not funny, normally speaking, if you say that law has no teeth, right? Or you have to put some, in order for people to do what you want them to do, that law has to have teeth unless the person doesn't actually have teeth. He says that, and then you say, oh, but the law doesn't have any teeth. Once again, it's a pun. Any statement, any word, any group of words could be made into a pun. I had someone one time say to me, as innocently as possible, right? Oh, well, I'm the black sheep of the family. I've always taken that as insulting. Okay, but I know the person doesn't mean to be insulting. But the reason I take it as insulting, so if you are the black sheep. So why is, if a sheep is black? But we all know, culturally speaking, that means that's the one that's rejected. That's the one that's bad. That's the one that no one wants. So what happens? It becomes a pun. All right. So any of these statements, to be dying to be with someone, and you say, well, you know she's dying to be with that person, but then we find out, or when a person says it, and then someone says, she has cancer. Then it's funny, but not funny. But you didn't mean it that way at all. So let me just give you 3 levels on which you understand a pun. Level number 1, you understand the popular expression itself. You know, to be without teeth, to be the black sheep. Another, well, I'm not going to say that one because that one does have sexual implications. To be blind as a bat. Okay, so no problem. Then you also understand on another level the cultural or historical meaning of that expression. And that's why you understand that even though the expression cannot be understood literally, you understand its metaphorical, historical, social context, so you get it. Right? So you get what they mean when they say, an elephant never forgets. Right? And let's say you're talking about whatever, and then you said elephant never forgets. It just means that the person won't forget what you've done to him 30, 40, 50 years from now. But then you hook that up with the literal meaning, right? And if you're talking about, whether you're talking about the speaker or the listener, then that all hooks up to equal a pun. So if you say that, watch out, because even though you got Christie now, but later on, who knows if he comes back into power, if he has to leave power, he comes back to power, because you always know, you know that an elephant never forgets. Well, you don't mean that Christie is an elephant, but it hooks up, people laugh, and boom, it's a pun. So, once again, this is Coralla Ficklin McClain, or if you choose Coralla McClain at iStudyGuys.com. We have a whole network. So I'm going to leave this on the board for about 5 seconds to see if you want to copy it down, because puns is one of the ways people know when you really understand a language, whether you're talking about your own language or you're talking about another language. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.